Hey guys, it's PlazmaScream, and today we are going to talk about Injustice character roles. What I mean by roles is these three words at the top of the screen here: carry, tank, support. Some of you guys might already know what these terms mean, but the carry is going to be your character with the highest stats that you're going to be using for most of the match, if not all of the match. That is going to be knocking out everybody on the opponent's team and clicking the specials and just, getting the job done. They're going to carry you to victory. They're going to get you to win the match. The tank is the character you're going to use to block hits, block specials, block basics, take a super move, all that kind of stuff. You don't want your carry to be taking unnecessary damage, especially like special twos and DOT and all that stuff. You want to get your tank in there to deal with all that. And the combination of Astro Harness, 4th World Galley Chestplate, and the 4th World Galley Helmet, they will easily be able to take anything anybody throws at them. There's also some other gear combinations I like to use, like Let's Go Helmet, maybe like Scarecrow's Ventilator Mask, Ninja Helmet, Killer Croc Companion Card Evolved, all kinds of stuff like that are good as well. And then your support is the character you're going to use to shatter gears. This is mainly used for getting rid of opponents' Astro Harnesses, which is the most annoying gear in the game, especially for your tank. Not your tank. It's the most annoying gear in the game for your carry, because not every carry has a special that has enough damage in like one hit or so to bypass an Astro Harness. The Astro Harness has like 3 shields plus a power shield at the end. Is just so annoying to get around. If you don't have like, especially too, like Ares or Luchador Bane, his special one, it's gonna be really tough to get around that, and it's gonna make your matches just last so unnecessarily long, and it's not fun. Nobody likes that, but like you kind of gotta use it in every team, so you're gonna fight it a lot. So you gotta be prepared to remove it a lot. So that's what support does. They remove the Astro Harness, they get rid of it, so you then can tag in your carry and knock them out without any issues. And so I've mapped out the roles of every character in the game, all the golds. We can talk about the silvers and bronzes, but like they're not as important. But I got all the golds and the medals here too. So for the Aquamans, most of these are supports because, well, Aquaman Prime, he's good for like Phantom Zone and Survivor and all that stuff, but it's like, he's not crazy essential, You don't even have to use him at all if you don't want to, but like unless you're doing like Survivor or Phantom Zone, you're probably not going to use him. But if you wanted to, I would use him as support because he's a very fast special one. That also applies Bleed, which is nice for your carry. Bleed makes opponents take 20% more damage while they're bleeding. And a special one comes out very fast, so if you get like 2 bars, you can throw 2 special ones out and shatter 2 gears pretty quickly. So although he cannot shatter more than 1 gear at a time, he can use 2 special ones in quick succession. So if you wanted to use him as support, he's not too bad for it. The only difference here is Flashpoint Aquaman. On the Flashpoint trio, he is the quote tank, but he is going to be dealing a lot of damage because he's actually going to be promoted and max crit because of the way the Flashpoint trio is set up. Deathstroke needs him to be augmented and promoted so that his special one assist attack from his passive will do huge amounts of damage and be able to KO people. So that's why he's a tank and like the other ones aren't. Ares, pretty self-explanatory. One of the best special 2 carries in the game. He's just completely brainless. Tag him in, special 2. block, no block, don't care, he's dead. You can just KO everybody unless they have like resurrections, so some of these I've outlined, whether they're special 2 carry, special 1, or either one. Some of them you'll see I write in A, like here. These characters are usually just so bad that I just don't recommend using them for anything. I just don't recommend them. Like Bane Prime, he's just not good. It's too weak. I mean, if he had higher stats, even though his passive's not the greatest, if he had higher stats, he'd actually be pretty good. Because special 2 is not bad. Special 1 is good. It's one hit, easy minigame. Special 2 is pretty good. 2 hit, 2 KO, not bad. Problem is, 650 base damage is really crap. Not worth using. Even with augments, not worth using. Alternatively, something like Arkham Origins Bane, pretty good. Strong special 1, one hit. Strong special 2, that can knock out 3 people. Either one you want to use. If you want to make a special 1 carry, works great. If you make a special 2 carry, it's pretty good. It's pretty strong. There's no wrong way to go about it. You could even use it as a tank if you really wanted to. And give like an Arkham character a bar of power when he gets low HP. And he will easily because he has low stats if he's a tank. I should also mention, I forgot to say that, what I've written up here. So your carries are going to be promoted until you get to the point where if you promote them one more time, they will have over 90,000 health. Usually this has a carry be Elite 9, maybe Elite 8. And if you promote them one more time after that, they would have over 90k health. You don't need more than that. There are a few exceptions for characters that have like higher than 90,000 health, but like they'd be pretty good at that promotion. Examples being the Deadshots, Arkham Origins Deadshot, Suicide Squad Deadshot. I believe at Elite 9 they have like 93,000 health. If you have no health support cards, the ones you buy with Alliance credits. So, and you never want to buy those. They're not needed. Health is not important. Health is not important. It's the least important stat. Damage is way more important than health. Because if you play a match right with the right gears, you're not even going to get hit. So if you don't need to get hit, what's the point of having health? You don't need it. The best characters have like really high damage and like okay health, maybe even low health. Example being Luchador Bane, really really high damage, health is low, and allows him to be like really really strong. He doesn't have to worry about getting hit because he just knocks everybody out easily. He's a glass cannon, but like in Injustice, if you play right, the fact that you're made out of glass doesn't matter anyway. You don't have to worry about the glass part. You can focus more on the cannon part. So health doesn't matter. But generally, that is the amount of health you want to like have, that little area. There was another one. If you have a base health stat of about 1,000, examples being like Raven Prime, Arcanite Catwoman, they are pretty damn good carries, right? They're really good special 2 carries. You can have them late 9, but if you really want to, honestly, if you really want to, you can have them late 10. We generally aren't going to make characters late 10 unless they have less than 1,000 health. Because then, at Elite 10, they actually have less than 90,000 health at Elite 10. But like characters with 1,000 base HP actually have like right around 90k. Like it's just a little bit higher than that. And honestly, that's kind of fine. That's kind of okay. So if you don't mind the extra stats, if you don't mind having the health that high, then honestly, go for it. Like, I won't be upset. That's probably fine. And those characters are very good carries anyway. So, they'll benefit a lot from the extra damage they'd get from being level 60 and Elite 10. because those are very, very good carries. They need all the damage they can get. And then your tank, they will always be Elite 0. There's only like a couple exceptions. Number 1's Flashball Aquaman, like we talked about a second ago. Number 2 is New 52 Black Adam, because you need him in order to function properly. He's got to be Elite 3. He's got to be evolved. So in order to be evolved, he has to be Elite 3. So on a team with him, you would actually want to have the support being as low stat as possible. There was like one more. You could use Batman and Nightwing, and you can make him Elite 3 if you want to, if you get the cards for it. So if you wanted to use him as a tank, you could. But we'll talk about that later. But he can be Elite 0 too if you want to. It's up to you for that one. I think that's the exceptions for those. And then supports. I used to think it should be Elite 0, but honestly, the tanks are so fine enough at Elite 0 with the proper gears, being Astro and 4th World set, that they can afford to just be Elite 0. And so your supports should have some higher stats on them. That way, they're harder to get KO'd. You know, they have a little bit of health on them, and they can also perform as a quote backup carry if your carry goes down and you still do damage. So the formula for calculating a team: first you get your tank. First you get your carry, and you promote them as high as you can until you get to the point where if you promote them one more time, they have over 90,000 health. Again, few exceptions. And then you get a tank, Elite 0. Pick whichever one you want. There's plenty of good ones. And then you get your support, and you promote them until, as you see here, you promote them until the first match of an epic ladder gives you either 4.5k battle rating or 5,000. It's up to you. Do you want 5,000 from your first match, so you get like 1,500 at the final match of the epic ladder? Or do you want 4.5? So that way you get 14,800. The difference is the lower battle rating you get, the higher likely you are to not face a team with an Astro Harness on it. And this is really, really good for having super fast ladders and easy, quick matches that are just like completely brainless. Like you don't think about it at all. You just tag in your carry, special 2, or if you're a special 1 carry, special 1s, and just have the easiest matches ever, you know? Like you don't want to fight a bunch of Astro Harnesses. The higher stat teams you're using, like if you just have a whole team of like a bunch of Elite 10s or whatever, you're gonna fight like nothing but Astro Harness teams and other crap, like Full Metal Shazam teams and stuff like that. And it's just gonna make your ladders take so long. They're gonna drag out for so long, and it's just gonna kill your times. It's gonna ruin those characters. You don't want to do that. And if you start your ladder and the first match gives you 4.5k or 5k, then and your stats are set up right, your promotions are set up right, you're not going to fight crazy stuff like that. You're going to get stupid, free, easy to win matches. And you know, it's cool if you can win those hard matches, but you shouldn't have to every single match of every single ladder. Like that's needlessly difficult. You know, it's cool you can do that, but it's not necessary. You get the same amount of battle rating, you know, as you would doing that. Then you do this. It's not necessary. And if you do this, you win the matches so much faster. You understand? You know, it's better this way. Anyway, let's go down. So now you understand, you know, how you kind of want to set your team up. So let's go through the characters. For Luchador Bane, he's gonna be a special 1 carry. He's like one of the best carries in the game. You know, you tag him in, you get the stun, and with the right gears and crit augments, his special 1 will just one-shot the whole team and just knock everybody out so fast, so easily. He's part of like the fastest MP team for grinding battle rating and clearing through ladders. He's stupid fast, but he's so popular and kind of like infamous that most people probably know about that. For Batgirl Prime, she is listed as a tank. Now you're not gonna have like the reason she's a tank is because you're using her for a passive. It's not like, oh, she's got like a tanky passive. She takes less damage because of her passives. None of that. You use her with Astro in Fourth World, and you have her on the team in the tank role, and you use her because of her passive. That 1 bar power is really nice because it gives you like gear flexibility. Lets your support not have to use Raid Circle Scimitar if they don't want to, or they can. It lets your carry not have to use the Master Death card, and they can use like Tansy Totem, Enchantress, Demon Blade, um, instead of like the Master's Death card, Tansy Totem, Heart of Darkness. You can get some different gear combinations, or better yet, you can like overload on damage, and you can go like Tansy Totem, Demon Blade, Heart of Darkness, and just have like a whole bunch of damage and always critting, which can really help, especially to carry that has like reduced damage, but like otherwise has a lot of potential to be really good. A good example would be Arcanite Catwoman, but she doesn't really need that. She's very good as is. It was just an example. What else? A lot of Batgirls are supports. As you see, their special ones can apply gear effects 3 times. They can apply 3 rounds of DOT, like Ibistic or League of Assassins, Adept Blade. They can apply 3 DOT applications with 1 special one. So that's 30% of someone's health gone with like Ibistic. And then you can like stack a whole bunch of DOT gears if you want. Or you can do like Claw Horse, Neva Stick, and like Race Glow Scimitar. So that way you're shattering gears and applying DOT. That stuff's just really good. Many Batmans are also supports with few exceptions. Many Batmans can apply gear effects 2 to 3 times. And as such, you want to use them as supports because there's so many of them, and even like the quote worst ones are like really good supports still. Like even the Insurgency Batman, despite not being crazy, he's still a really good support, which is still worth using. There are some of these that can apply gear effects up to 3 times. It's not, it's not gonna happen all the time, but it does happen. Those ones are Arkham Knight Batman, Batman Ninja Batman, Dawn of Justice Batman, Flashlight Batman, and Gaslight Batman. Those ones can apply up to 3 because they have different special ones than the other ones. Let's see, Conduct Black Adam, special 2 carry. New 2 Black Adam is what I talked about earlier. I say evolve because you need to have him weight 3 for his passive to work best. You want the lightning strikes to be 100% chance whenever an opponent tags in. And that is just super useful for knocking out the entire team with a multi-hit, multi-KO special 2 carry. Like, say, Teen Titans Raven, New 52 Superman, Arkham Origins Bane, Arkham Origins Deathstroke, just some examples. Black Adam Regime, you're going to use him as a tank. Incoming Catwoman, special 2 carry, 3 hit, 2 KO, and a change to Master Death card. Pretty good, not bad. Arcanite Catwoman, special 2 carry. Batman Ninja Catwoman, you don't have to use her if you don't want to, but like, if you did, I would use her on defense, and I would, set her up to be with basic attack gears. You're not going to really use her for offense because why use basic attacks when you have special 2s with Tansy Totem? That way, point. But for what it's worth, she's pretty good in Phantom Zone for clearing objectives. So, pretty good at doing that. So that's why I wanted to mention her. Batman Returns, Catwoman, special 2 carry. She's actually really good special 2 carry if you've got her augmented and promoted. And you can actually make her Elite 10. A lot of these you wouldn't use her someone Elite 10 because the stats are way too high. But because her stats are kind of low, she can actually be used at Elite 10. Cyborg, he's a tank. Darkseid Prime is not worth using. He's just not. There's better tanks, and his specials aren't good. His basics are slow. He's not good for anything. Apocalypse Darkseid though, you could use him as a tank, if you want to. He's not crazy, but he's, if you wanted to, he's not bad. But I wouldn't use him as a carry or a support or that. Deadshot, Arkham Origins, Special 2 carry. Suicide Squad, Deadshot, same thing. You could use him for the special ones, but I don't know. It's not quite as good as the special 2s. Arkham Origins, Deathstroke. One of the best carries in the game. He's completely insane and cracked out. That special 2 can destroy an entire team with just one, and if set up properly, you can do like a crazy amount of area of effect damage with Lord Joker and the 4th World Godly Mace. You could use a special 1 carry if you wanted to on him and use point blank, but like you gotta be really good at that mini game. It's just pretty hard. What else? Flashpoint Deathstroke. He's one of the best special 1 carries in the game because of how the Flashpoint trio functions when you got all 3 and Deathstroke is the carry. You can use special 2 carry, but you won't get the gear shattering stuff of Claw Horse. But it's not bad. Deathstroke Red Sun. You probably won't even get him unless you open Red Sun packs with real money. And if you do, congratulations, but he's not really good for much. He's super freaking rare, and it's just better characters. Pass is also not worth anything. He's not worth using. Doomsday, special 1 carry, really good special 1 carry because it's 1 hit. It can chain from Master Death Card, and the passive is really nice too for what it's worth. Also, it starts and finishes really fast, so you can get some really fast matches if you just KO everybody in 1 hit. 3 special 1, just boom, boom, boom. You'll get like some stupid fast times. Black Knight Doomsday, same thing, but you can use as a special 2 carry if you want. Containment Doomsday, super good tank. He can resurrect like 3 times, which is so cool. And if you give him 4th World set, that's 4 times. Man of Steel Zod, really good tank because of damage reduction. Arrow, Green Arrow. He's a really strong special 2 carry, despite the stats. He hits really hard. And I believe you can actually make him Elite 10 because of stats. Because his stats are less than 1,000. So you could get him Elite 10, and that plus his super strong special 2, which does more damage than normal. And you would have a really powerful carry. Rebirth Green Arrow as a support. When you use him with the Master's Death Cart, and the Claw Horse, and other like DOT gears, like Ibistic, and you tag him in with the Master's Death Cart, and you use special 1 immediately, or special 2, but special 1, you'll actually apply gear effects twice on the first tag in, and the other ones too, but specifically the first one. Normally, this would not happen until you have tagged that character in twice. The second time they would do this. He does this the first time. So you give him these gears, the Master Death Claw Horse, Ibistic, tag him in, use special 1, and you will apply gear effects twice. And that is a really, really good way of shattering gears or applying DOT right away. He doesn't even need like Red Skull Scimitar. He can just use Master Death Cart and immediately shatter 2 gears, which is super good. John Stewart, he's a tank. Use him for his passive. Red Sun Green Lantern, he's obvious tank. He's takes less damage from specials and super moves, which is really good. Red Lantern Hal Jordan, I have him as support, and you might be confused about this, but think about it. He starts off with 3 bars, right? And he generates power really fast. If you give him something like Astro Harness, Claw Horse, Enchantress, or maybe you want something like Claw Horse, Ibistic, Enchantress, this can basically let you use special 1, wait a second for the power to generate on its own. You don't even have to fight. It will just generate. Wait for the power to generate back up, and then use another special 1 right after it. And this will allow you to quickly use 2 special 1s and shatter 2 gears or more if the Enchantress skulls hit. Because if you time it right, the skulls can actually apply gear effects if you just use a special. A lot of the Harleys are tanks. A A lot of them are tanks, not necessarily because like they're good tanks, but because you use them for the passives. Some of these are pretty self-explanatory, you know. Animated Harley, use it for like the more damage and power gen. Arkham Harley for the Arkham characters. You don't have to use Arkham Knight Harley, but like she would be like okay as a tank because of the passive. And then I don't recommend using the Suicide Squad Harley because she's just not good. Not worth using in any role, really. I think I skipped Yellow Lantern. If you get enough copies of him, either because you drop like $200 on his pack in the store, or you got lucky enough times from Phantom Zone and Infinite Pro Packs, if you get enough copies to where he can be like Elite 8 or 9, pretty good Special 2 carry. Pretty good. Otherwise, I would use him as like a tank. Maybe a support. Either of those would be fine, but if you get enough copies, not too bad of Special 2 carry. Okay, where were we? Hawk Girl. This is like the reason for the whole video. Okay. So we keep our tanks Elite 0, but this cannot apply to anybody more than Hawk Girl. You need to keep your Hawk Girl. It's like the most important character in the whole game. You gotta keep your Hawk Girl Elite 0. Please do not. If you take anything away from this video, it's this sentence. Please do not promote your Hawk Girl. If you get another copy from a challenge pack or wherever, sell it. Don't promote her. She needs to be Elite 0. You use her everywhere. Survivor, MP, you promote her and it ruins her. You don't promote her. She has no need to be promoted. Why does she need to be promoted? Why? Is she a carry? No. Is she going to be shattering gears? No. She's just going to be stalling time with Astro in 4th World, and she just only has to stall time for like a second. Then you can tag back out. Her passive is so good. Her passive is so good. If you promote her, it makes it just harder for you, and it makes your matches harder for no reason. Don't do it. It's not needed. It makes Survivor harder for you. It makes MP harder for you. And that's like the two most important game modes in Injustice. She doesn't need to be promoted. Just keep her Elite 0. Keep all tanks Elite 0, except like a couple, but like for the most part, your tanks need to stay Elite 0, especially Hawk Girl, okay? Do not promote Hawk Girl Prime. Do not. Please don't. Like, you'll thank me later for this. You really will, because your matches will be so fast and so easy. You're like, wow, this is crazy, this is great, I love this. I love playing Injustice. But if you run around with like an Elite 10 Hawk Girl, an Elite 10 Flashpoint Batman, and whatever else, you're gonna have like these stupid hard matches. And even though you're like tagging in and out, which is cool, but your matches are still gonna take forever because you're fighting just these stupid teams like Shazam and Flashpoint Aquaman and Batman, and you don't need to be fighting that every match. Just keep her Elite 0. Her passive works the same Elite 0 compared to like Elite 10 or Elite 7. It works the same, and use her for a passive. So if that's the case, there's no reason to promote her. Just keep her Elite 0. Anyway, Black Knight Hawk Girl. Despite what you're gonna see on opponent teams, you need to use her as a tank because she's like Regime Solomon Grundy on crack. Way better stats. Heals whenever anybody gets a KO, the opponent or you. And she's Black Knight character, so she gets other Black Knight benefits if there's any other on the team. And you don't even necessarily have to use her on a Black Knight team because she can fit anywhere. She gets a free resurrection. So if you have 4th World set, she has 2 resurrections. That's fantastic. Earth 2 Hawk Girl. She's an okay Special 2 carry. You don't have to use her. She's just okay. But like, if you wanted to, it's not terrible. Regime Hawk Girl. I have her down as a tank or Special 2 carry. As a Special 2 carry, she's kind of bugged because sometimes she's going to crash the game when you use a Special 2. Not always, but like, it's a possibility that you have to worry about like all the time. But, I'm not sure what causes it, but it kind of happens randomly. So if you're kind of worried about that, but you still want to use her, pretty good tank because when she tags in, the opponent cannot use specials for a little bit of time. All their specials are like disabled. Super move included. Even if Astro Harness is up, the Astro Shields, they will still be disabled. This is really good. So that's definitely worth something as a tank. I wanted to include that. Jessica Cruz, as a special 2 carry, she's really strong, but like, not the fastest, but like, people like her, people like using her. She's very popular. So I'm not going to tell you not to use her as a carry, because I know you want to. So, I wanted to make sure the option is still there. You can use her with Green Lantern teammates, you can. You also don't have to. You can use somebody else, and she's still really good. So you might be inclined to use Green Lantern teammates, but know that you don't have to. And she's still good without them. Killer Croc, obvious tank. He basically gets like free armor whenever, and kind of heals like every time he tags in, basically because of the armor. Killer Frost, you might think she would be a special 2 carry, and I guess if you really want to, you could use her that way, but she's just kind of alright, I've used her in that role, she's just okay, I don't recommend it a crazy amount. I think she's better off using it as a tank. You could also use her as support. Kind of forgot to include that. Make sure I write that. You could also use her as support, and it wouldn't be too bad because her special ones do apply deep freeze. So imagine like you applying deep freeze and shattering gears at the same time. Not too bad. Not too bad. Deep freeze is a really cool status effect. They get like super slowed down and their power duration gets stunted, and it's super good. Killer Frost Regime, you can use it as support too, or tank. She's health regen debuff is just okay. It's alright. It's not crazy, but it's okay. You don't need it, but it's alright. Crypto Lex Luthor, pretty good support. You could use him as a tank, but I think it's better as support. I don't recommend using Lobo Prime at all. He's trash. And at everything. Don't use that. It's the worst character in the game. But Bounty Hunter Lobo is pretty good. Pretty good special 2 carry. I think you could also make him Elite 10 because his HP is really low and his damage is pretty good. So if you make him Elite 10, he's got a super good damage to health ratio. So that would make him super strong. Batman Ninja Lord Joker, he is a really good really good support because special ones apply gear effects twice, and also you got good DOT from the special ones, not just from the gears, but from his poison. So he's really good support. He also gives area of effect damage to any gunners on the team, like Arkham Orton's Deathstroke, Arkham Orton's Deadshot, other Jokers. He's great. Manhunter Prime, I don't recommend using him. He's just not good. He's not worth anything. He's not worth using at all. He's useless. I guess you use him as a tank, I guess, but there's better people for that kind of stuff. He's just okay. If you're getting stunned and stuff from his combo ender and power drain, maybe it's okay, but I don't know. It's kind of weird. Black Knight Manhunter is a really good tank. Really, really good. I recommend him a lot. Batman Ninja Nightwing, I think would be best as a tank. Either Elite 0 or Elite 3. If you really want to use him in Elite 3, you can. And I also want to mention you could use him as a special 2 carry if you really want to. I don't necessarily know how worth it that is, but if you use him plus the Batman laughs, so you get bleed, and special 2 can knock out multiple people, it's alright. It could be better, but it's alright. So I wanted to mention it because I know a lot of people do like Ninja Nightwing a lot. I know it's very popular. So new for 2 Nightwing, pretty good support. Power Drain is really nice too. Raven Prime, one of the best special 2 carries. She is super sick. She's strong. She's fast. She's passive is great. Her stats are solid. She's just, I love her. One of my favorite carries. Rebirth Raven is actually pretty much the only backup carry. exclusively backup carry role you're gonna see in this whole list because the way her passive is built, um, it makes it kind of hard for her to be used as like a regular carry or you know, so she's better off used as like a backup carry. Um, and the way I would use her is with like Astro Harness, Quake Engine because it does have great synergy with her passive. She steals their power. Now they have no power. She's special 2. It's super powered up because of Quick Engine, and then they take a bunch of damage. And then I also got Let's Go Pelmet. If she's max crit like mine was, then you're gonna get a lot of damage from special 2s. Even if she's not promoted high, I would have her like elite 3 to 5 around there. Um, Even if like at those promotions, she's actually hitting pretty hard, So don't underestimate the amount of damage she can do. Regime Raven is not good at all. I don't recommend ever using her. But Teen Titans Raven is a killer. That's like my strongest girl. She is a freaking death machine. She can just tear through teams so fast with just like 1 or 2 special 2s easily without even trying. She just destroys survivor mode. Just destroys anybody in story mode. She's a freaking killer. I love her so much. She's amazing. Reverse Flash, pretty good tank. Passive's really nice for being a tank. Classic Scorpion, same thing. Uh, the other Scorpions, though, I don't recommend using. They're just not good. Special 1s aren't really useful. They're just okay. Special 2s aren't good. They either have, like, weird mini games, like meter burns, or, like, a lot of the hits not having, like, damage increased from the mini game, except, like, the last hit, like MKX Scorpion. Or like DOT attached to them so they have reduced damage. It's just not good, Don't use those. I know they're cool looking and they're scorpions. I know we like scorpions, but they're not worth using. I'm sorry. Shazam Prime is kind of weird. His stats are really weird. Special 2 is weird. If you get him early game, he's super good early game. For late game though, and once you got the good gears and all that, you're not gonna like ever use him. So I don't really recommend using him after that. But early game, I wanted to mention that he is worth using because his passive is kind of crazy. So if you get him, have fun, but like you won't use him forever. Um, New for the 2 Shazam though, if you get enough copies to use him for a carry, he's pretty decent. As a special 2 carry, I would use him with Badminton Laughs, so you get the bleed, because otherwise you can't knock out multiple people with special 2 like most people can. But the bleed will allow him to do that. But you can also use him as a special 1 carry because he has a 1-hit special 1 that changes massive death card. Pretty good. Not bad, honestly. Pretty good. That's pretty ideal for a special 1 carry. So if you wanted to use him like that, you could. I know it's a little underwhelming because it's not like a cool, animation like special 2 is, but it's not bad. It's pretty good. Sinestro Antimatter. He is really rare, but if you can get enough copies for him to be Elite 9, he is super, super good. Super powerful. But don't use Green Lantern Sinestro. He's just not worth using. He's basically just the worst version of Antimatter. He's just not worth it. Even if you had him Elite 10 and you compared him to Elite 9 Antimatter Sinestro, it's actually still worse. It's just not worth using. Boss Grundy, I know this is like a big meme. Everybody loves Boss Grundy, but he's not good at anything at all. Like, I guess as a tank because it's high HP, but that's it. And I still want to use him as that because there's just better people for that. So no reason to use him. But Earth 2 Grundy, on the other hand, is super good. Special 2 carry can knock out 3 people. Special 1 can change from massive death card and is a 1-hit special 1. Super good. He is just fantastic. Passive also really good. He's a really good carry. I've used him a lot. He's a great character to use. Red Sun Grundy, pretty good tank. Also, the HP buff is kind of nice. So that's worth something. Static Prime, pretty good special 2 carry. And a lot of people don't know, but his special 2 can actually apply DOT if you give him stuff like the Ibis Stick or League of Assassins, the Adept Blade, or Let's Go Helmet. You actually apply a bunch of DOT, kind of similar to Jessica Cruz on a Saw Blade with 2 Green Lanterns on the team. Kind of similar to that, except he does it by himself, which is kind of crazy. on top of his special 2 just being, really good. Superman Prime, not worth using. He's just crap. There's better Supermans. Blackest Night Superman is a really good tank. I love him a lot, but he's not good as a carry or in his better Superman supports. But he is a pretty good tank, and you can use him in any team, not just Blackest Night. You can use him anywhere, and he'd be pretty solid as a tank. Being able to be immune to unblockables, getting health back whenever you get a KO. That's just super nice. The OJ Superman, you can use him as a support or carry, but I think he's best as support because being able to shatter someone's gears, all 3, with one special 1, and they can't get him back even if they tag out, that's kind of crazy. That's kind of really good, Don't underestimate that. That is kind of nuts. Like, they can't just tag out and get him back later. No. For 60 whole seconds, which is a long time in a match. If a match lasts that long, you're doing something wrong. But that's basically the entire match. They got no gears. That's nuts. Godfall Superman is a really good special 1 carry because he's got high damage. Well, not high, but 1,000. And he has he's got the strongest 1-hit special 1 out of all the Supermans. Him and Red Sun tied for the same amount of damage. The other ones Dawn of Justice, New 42, and Justice 2, they have a 3-hit special 1, but because of its 3 hits, it's not as good. You want the damage to be concentrated on 1 hit, and those guys have a 1-hit special 1, which means they're really good special 1 carries. You can win matches very fast. I've made videos on this before with Red Sun Superman. He's crazy good, so you can watch that and you can see how good he is. Okay, Injustice 2 Superman. This is going to be the most controversial thing I've seen in this whole video. Not a good carry. You should just use him as a tank. Don't use him as a carry. I don't care if you have so many promotions for him that you can do it. It's not worth it. I've tried it. I've used it. It's not consistent. It's just not worth using. I know he hits really hard. I know he's got the strongest special 2 in the game. And he's so powerful and so cool and so rare. Listen, I know. I get it. I really do. I get it. Because I do think that too. But it's just not good. But let me explain. His special 2 does not consistently chain with the Master's Death card. When you tag in and you use special 2, it doesn't always connect with the first hit. So only 2 hits will land, and that messes up with your time, and it turns him into what would be a pretty damn good carry into just an okay carry. And then there's the fact that if the first hit of his special 2, if it gets blocked, then the whole thing gets whiffed, and it just doesn't work, and you just waste 2 bars. So maybe you think, okay, if it doesn't chain from the Master's Death card, I'll just use Tangent Totem and Racial Scimitar. So that way I get 2 bars like that, and I can tag him in, get 2 bars, block, and use special 2. And that might work some of the time, but if they block then, because they're a really fast basic attacker and they can block quick, like maybe a Batman character or somebody, then again they can block it. They can block the first hit of special 2, and again, you just waste 2 bars. He's not a consistent carry. I know on paper, he sounds crazy. 3 hit, 3 KO, super high damage stat. That's made even stronger from his passive. I get it. It sounds crazy, but it's actually, in practice, not that good. I've tried it. It's not that good. It's just not worth using. But as a tank, he's pretty good, because he can actually counter Tangent Totem. Say you're fighting someone I don't know, Teen Titans Raven, and she starts special 2. She starts special 2, and you're like, oh crap. So you tag in your tank, and you block, put your fingers on the screen, you block. Take the damage from the first hit, then stop blocking. This sounds crazy, but listen. Stop blocking. Then your passive is going to activate, and she's going to do for the whole special 2, and you're not going to take any damage. But because you took damage from the first hit, at least 1 hit, Tangent Totem is not going to refund power. Normally, Totem would counter his passive, but if you just block the first hit, you will have taken damage. It gets power refund if they take no damage, but if you take a little bit of damage from 1 hit, they will actually not be able to refund power. So you will just waste their power and waste their their totem, which is really really good. That's super good. Anyway, Man of Steel Superman as a support is pretty good because if you get like the free power back, and you allowed to use 2 special ones, it's pretty good. That's pretty nice. That's really appreciated. Whether or not, like, say the first special one doesn't shatter any gears, and you get a free one, or like you're able to use like a bunch of special ones like over and over and over. It's super cool. I think it's definitely worth using. New for 2 Superman. Unlike just 2 Superman, I think he could actually be used as a special 2 carry. I think he would be actually better. Despite doing less damage, I think he could be better because his special 2 has a much easier time landing unblocked because it's very fast, and it chains from Death Cart consistently, and his heavy attacks, which is pretty cool. But if you want to use him as a tank, that's also pretty good too because he takes less damage from basics, which is kind of nice when you're Elite 0 and they do a lot of damage, Prison Superman is a tank. He's not good at anything else, but as a tank, he's pretty good. Being able to heal is kind of nice. Red Sun Superman is crazy. He's really rare. It's hard to get him. But if you get him, and you get enough copies so he can be like Elite 9, he's nuts. He's insane. He's like crazy. As a special 1 carry, really good. Just like Godfall Superman, really good special 1 carry because he does 1 hit special 1, and it does really good damage because of the good damage stat. But also his special 2 is also really good. It's 3 hit, 2 KO. Sometimes, I don't know how, but sometimes it's 3 hit, 3 KO. And you can actually knock out 3 people with 1 special 2 or Red Sun Superman. It's hard to pull off. I don't know how you do it, but I have it happen sometimes, and I lose my mind when it happens. But he is actually super good. I love Red Sun Superman. One of my favorite carries. He is super good. But on the flip side, Regime Superman is crap and not worth anything. Don't use him. He's not good. The Arkham Knights, decent special 2 carry. You can use him if you want to. He's not the fastest, but he's decent. And the AoE is kind of nice. The area of effect damage. Batman Laughs. Okay, so this is going to be a support. And whether you want to have him Elite 0 or Elite 3 is up to you. It depends on what team you use him on. If you're going to use him with Shazam and like nobody else, or like Batman and Nightwing and nobody else, you want to be Elite 0, because otherwise you're going to have like 2 high promoted characters, and it's going to have, the stats way too high. You don't want that. But if you want to use them with like, some cool, powerful gold character that you want to have more damage, like Animated Batman Beyond, then that's going to be, you're going to want Batman Allows to be Elite 3. You don't have to have him evolve. It's not necessary, but it's cool. That's why I said it's optional. Black Knight Flash, very obvious. This is a tank, and a really good one. Don't use him as support. Don't use him as a carry. But as a tank, he's really, really solid. You're going to see I have like a lot of these flashes as tanks, and I'm going to explain why. You can tag them in, and you can go for like the Flash Infinite combo with the basics. The 1-2 punches that allows you to just chain it over and over, and the opponent can't fight back. That's a super good way to stall time so that you can tag in your carry again. Because they're not getting hit. You can just spend the time punching them, and the tank is not going to get hit. So that saves health and kills time for your carry to tag in and wipe everybody out. That's really nice, and it's really easy to do. So all flashes can do that. Most flashes are just not good as carries. But that's fine, because you can just use them as a tank and do that, and it's pretty good. So that's what you would do with all those flashes. So that covers basically all those. Hold on. Arkham Origins Joker. He's a pretty decent special 2 carry and a special 1 carry, because he's got a 1-hit special 1 that does chain from the Master Death card. That's really good. But special 2 also pretty good. He's a gunner, so you can give him for a Joker. He's Arkham. You can give him Arkham Harley. That's a pretty solid team right there. Special 2 minigame. It's pretty easy, pretty fast. So he's not bad. You can make him weigh 10, and he can hit really hard. He's a really solid carry. A lot of jokers you see here are tanks, and I'm going to explain this. Jokers, because of Joker characters, when you give them Quake Engine, this allows them to make it so the opponent team tags out less often. It takes them forever, takes them even longer to be able to tag in another character again, because Quake Engine adds time to the tag-in cooldown. It makes them have to wait longer to tag out. So a good way to use this and abuse this is, say you have a support that is not the best at shattering gears, but like it's a decent special one, you know? Say it's like Crypto Lex Luthor or Noof 2 Nightwing, you know, or like Aquaman Prime. You know, they can only shatter one gear at a time, right? Right? If you use them with Joker and you get 2 bars and you use 2 special ones back to back, normally they might tag out and you will just have wasted 2 bars. Even if you shatter like the Astro Harness, the opponent might have, you know, they might tag out after that. So like, what was the point? You just like wasted all that power. They got away with their Astro, and they'll come back again later and still have it, and you will have nothing to show for it. But if you have Quake Engine on a Joker on a team, then you can safely use 2 special ones and potentially shatter Astro Harness while doing that, and then tag in your Curie and wipe them out. Because like, if you use someone like Arkham Knight Batgirl and use a special one, you can shatter 3 gears with 1 special one. But not everybody can do that. Not everybody can be like Flashpoint Batman, who can shatter like 2 to 3 gears with 1 special one. That's super good, but not everybody can do that. So there's only so many characters that can do that. You know, there's like a dozen and a half-ish that can do that, but not everybody. So eventually, while going through all your supports, you're gonna get to a point where you're gonna have to use like other supports that are not quite as good as shattering gears, but still kind of decent. And that's where like this part comes into play. With Quake Engine on your Joker as the tank, and I would use like an Astro Harness plus Let's Go Helmet so they can still tank, plus Quake Engine, and that would be really good. That would allow them to make it so the opponents are kind of like, quote, trapped, so you can take away their gears and they can't get them back. They can't tag out and get it back. They're stuck there. They're stuck. And that makes it super safe for your carry to then come in and wipe everybody out. So that's all those Jokers covered. Then there's the Merciless. He is a decent Special 2 carry. You don't have to evolve him. You don't have to, but you can. But he's a decent Special 2 carry. Wally West, same thing that I talked about with the other Flashes. You can do like the infinite punches while he's tagged in, which helps kill time. But also, because of his passive, he can dodge specials. If you dodge specials, you take less damage because you didn't get hit. A tank that takes less damage because they take less specials, that's super cool. That's really good. DOJ Wonder Woman is just not worth using. I do love her. I think her design's crazy cool, and the passive's cool, but it's just, it's not worth it. It's just, you're gonna win matches so fast that like getting health back is just not important. It doesn't matter. But on the opposite side, new for the 2 Wonder Woman is like one of the best special 1 carries in the game. That girl is crazy. Her special 1 is nuts. It changed the Master Death card. It's 1 hit. It comes up 1,300 base damage, which is super high. She is fantastic. I love her. And because she's really good, you can also use Red Sun Wonder Woman as a special 1 carry, and also Regime Wonder Woman. Regime Wonder Woman also has a super good special 2. And not many people know this, but she has the strongest 2-hit potential 2 KO special 2 in the game. And that's actually super good, because what determines how much damage each hit of a special 2 is like based on how many hits how many hits is in the special 2. If you have 1 hit, that 1 hit is going to hurt a lot. But if you have like 6 hits, each hit ain't going to hit that hard. but hers has 2. So all the damage is concentrated on those 2 hits. And as a result, those 2 hits are going to hit really hard. So she can knock out 2 people with 2 shots, That's crazy. Even though her stats are low and her passive's not that crazy, it doesn't matter. Her special 2 is amazing. And you guys need to stop sleeping on her because she gets fire. She is so strong. Go use her, go promote her, go augment her, and give her something like the Master's Death Cart, Tainted Totem, and like 4th World Golly Mace, and then pair her with like 600 Wonder Woman right here as a tank, and use that special 2 and just bash people's brains out and watch how fast she wins matches. It's nuts. It's crazy. Look at her stats. It's crazy. You wouldn't see that shit coming. But you wouldn't see it coming. But she's nuts. Red Sun Wonder Woman, a cool little thing she can do as a tank. If you have her as a tank and then Red Sun Batman as a support, you will get 30% power generation from Red Sun Wonder Woman because you have 2 Red Sun characters in the team. So you don't necessarily have to use her on a Red Sun team. You can just use her with anybody, and you can give her that character, that carry, and like also the support 30% power generation, which is really, really appreciated. Just wanted to mention that. And then these last 2 characters are just Zatanna and Zod. They're not good. They're not good. They're not worth using for anything. They're just kind of worthless. I don't recommend using them for any role. That is about it. That's about everybody. There's a couple bronzes and silvers I could mention, and those kind of like take the same roles as their gold counterparts. Like, let's say new for 2 Nightwing, support. Same thing goes for Regime Nightwing, also support. Crypto Lex Luthor, support. Same thing goes for Insurgency Lex Luthor, also support. Prime Solomon Grundy, you can use him as a tank because he does resurrect with health back, which is pretty good. You could use Regime Cyborg as a tank with like damage to helmet with his passive. That's pretty good. For bronzes, you could use Prime Nightwing and Prime Lex Luthor as supports. Wouldn't be too bad. You could use the flashes, the bronze and silver flashes as tanks if you want to. Regime Solomon Grundy, also a pretty good tank because again he resurrects. And if he's like elite 10, he'll have like similar stats as someone as like a elite 0 gold. Especially if you got like health augments on him. So he'll basically look just the same as like an elite 0 gold. So if and being able to resurrect too is super good. Regime Green Arrow, just like Rebirth Green Arrow, will be a decent support. Power drain's really nice, and the extra damage is really nice. What else? Is that it? I think that's it. I think that's everybody. So that's basically all the characters in the game, and what role you should use them as, and it's kind of like what promotion they should be at for you and your teams. I hope you guys learned how to better construct your teams and the roles for each of the characters on them, and how to best use them. Because I see people all the time who just have like weird gear combinations and weird promotions for really good characters, but like they're just like they don't know what they're doing, and it shows. And I want to make sure you guys know what you're doing out there when you're playing this game, because you could be doing so much better, and you could have so much better time and have so much more fun. If you just tweak your team a little bit and just make sure you got the proper gears and the proper promotions, and you're not promoting the wrong characters and you are promoting the right characters. And if you got that kind of stuff down, then you're gonna be really set, and you're gonna be dominating everybody and having just the best time. But I've been talking forever, so hope you guys enjoyed, and talk to you guys later. See ya.